Alright, so here we have Paw Patrol Grand Prix, made played on the Xbox Series X, courtesy of Outright Games. I want to thank them for the very opportunity. This is actually a great racing game, despite despite it looking like a kid's game. Actually is. I mean, it is a kid's game, obviously, because it's based on Paw Patrol, but it is a great game as a racing game. Now, this is done by the same developer that did the previous game I covered, the Fast and Furious Rise of the Gear Shifters. And going into this game, I thought, oh, well, if it was done by them, is it going to be good? And it really surprisingly is. So, you've got settings, so you got game controls, audio, credits. You have collection, so here you've got hats, skins, turbo sparkles, trophies, play stats, and track stats. So you can unlock various accessories for your racers as you play through the game. You can play with friends. You can play up to 4 players, local split screen, which is kind of cool. You got adventure mode. This is like your Grand Prix modes. This is going to be just your standard single player mode where you play through every track. And then you have race. So you can do instant race, so you can throw as a random race, or you can do custom race. Or you can do a Barking Berg if you happen to have purchased Barking Berg, which is $5.99, so $6 in the Microsoft Store. And you have the tutorial. Now, you also have the ability to play online with this. Actually, I misspoke. I'm sorry. I was thinking of the other game. So, you can't play online. You only have a local split screen. Going into adventure mode, or the Grand Prix mode. Actually, let's go back. Custom race. Alright, so before you start any race, whether it be Grand Prix or custom race, you have to pick a racer. So you've got Ryder, Chase, Marshall, Rebel, Rocky, Zuma, and Sky. And then once you pick a character, I pick Ryder, you have different hats that you can put on them. And again, that's as you unlock them, you have the ability to equip them. And then you have skins. And then you have turbo sparkles. Again, these unlock as you play the game. Default. And then you pick the races you want, or the tracks you want to race on. So you can essentially pick them all if you really want to. So all 13 tracks if you'd like. Or you can do 1, or you can do 4, it's up to you, and then you can change the time of day. So daytime or nighttime. And I'm going to actually go back into adventure mode. Okay, so essentially once you pick a racer, you're stuck with the entire set of races, and you have to go through all 13 tracks. So again, you've got the different racers, and each racer has their own special skill or special power up, or whatever you want to call it. I'm going to go ahead and again pick Ryder. And I'm going to do City Roads because it's the only track you can play on. When you pick a track, you have to pick a difficulty. So you have easy, nice ride with auto drive, pre-activated, normal, and then you have hard, which is race against the pups with an extra gear. I'll do normal. I love how quickly the game loads. The game loads very, very quickly, and does have a bit of a story to it, which I don't really care for because I don't like the show. But at the same time, I think it's kind of cool that they include this. Really, the story element's probably about the longest part. Here we go, we're already in the race. So the beginning of the race, I love the chicken. You begin the race, you hold A, you just keep it in the yellow, and then that'll give you a bit of a speed boost at the start. And so A is gas, which I thought was kind of interesting. I figured it would have been a trigger, but then again, you have to think about the fact that this is a kid's game. So similar to Mario Kart, you race around the track. You have turbo pads you can hit, and turbo ramps you can hit, and then your power-ups here that will aid you in your racing. It's not hard to get first, like at all, playing normal. Don't want to hit the confetti. And so you, when you get all the bones, you get your power up. From me, it's invisibility, invincibility shield. And I did not mean to hit that stupid confetti. But unlike the Fast and Furious game, this game actually gives you a good sense of speed in comparison. Yeah, it's definitely overall a better game, a lot more fun. And yeah, I mean, the only real issue I have was the fact that the character says something like every time you go off a jump, or every time you hit somebody. It's kind of, I mean, that is kind of annoying, I will admit. But it's still a really good racing game at its core, despite the fact that it's PAW Patrol. It is a fun racing game. And if you're a fan of racing games, you're a fan of PAW Patrol, I think you'll find a lot of enjoyment in this game. Because it really is a good, fun, wholesome, enjoyable racing game. My only other complaint, other than the fact that the characters yelling are kind of annoying, is the fact that there are no unlockable racers. The way that you unlock racers, I don't really agree with. The only way to unlock racers is if you buy the DLC. So the additional racers are locked behind paid DLC. You pay $5.99, you get Barkenberg, which gives you additional tracks and additional racers. You get 6 racers, and I forget how many tracks for $5.99, which isn't a bad price, don't get me wrong. But there's no real incentive to keep playing and doing well outside of unlocking accessories. And what I think also is kind of frustrating in a sense, but understandable, is the fact that the game tells you can go into the Microsoft Store to purchase the DLC. It tells you go to the Microsoft Store to purchase the additional racers. Go to the Microsoft Store to purchase Barkenberg. But there's no way inside the game to get into the Microsoft Store. There's just no option to do it. It tells you, yeah, go to the store to buy it, but there's no option to do so. And I understand why. It's a kid's game, and they want to prevent you or prevent the child from in-store purchases, which I get. It is a security measure, but at the same time, they could have chosen to rely on the parental controls of the actual system rather than taking it upon themselves to prevent that. So I guess, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's understandable why it was done, and I can see some parents being thankful that it's there for a matter of convenience. But yeah, so here it is. PAW Patrol Grand Prix. It's 40. I think it's 30, $40 on your desired platform. Do I think it's worth it? I'd say 20, $30 be worth it. If it is 40, again, I don't quite recall what the price is right now on it. I'd say wait for it to be on sale. Um, but or maybe buy it physically rather than digitally, because I think $40 for a physical copy is better than paying full price for a digital copy. But all in all, it's a decent racing game. It's fun, it's enjoyable, um, and it's a good game. Graphically, it's great. The load times are very quick, at least on the Series X. And yeah, it's just a great, fun little racing game based on the PAW Patrol franchise. Um, that's all I got. I do want to thank Outright Games for the opportunity. And I hope you've enjoyed what you've been seeing here. If you want to pick this game up for yourself, I will leave a link to purchase the game in the description down below as always. And I want to thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing. Until next time, take care and happy gaming.